And welcome back, pregame.tv. Ken Thomson, fresh out of Arizona. Dave Cokin, fresh out of Crazy Horse 3. Big game, and of course, Patriots taking care of business, but now it's all basketball day.
Yep, we are into a bubble month as so many big games now in college basketball heading down the home stretch in the regular season, and we're not that far away from March Madness.
Did you have a good time Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game. I ended up with a one-unit loss on Seattle. Obviously, to me, the game went pretty much the way I thought it was going to go in terms of being a coin flip type of game, and I ended up on the wrong side of the coin flip, but I won 2 basketball games that day, so worked out with a profit anyway. To me, the Super Bowl is just another bet. Obviously, from a spectator standpoint, it's a big game, and I'm like anybody else, I'm excited for it, but you have to control your betting, and if it's not a good bet, then you just got to either pass or play conservatively, and I decided to play it, but conservatively, and I'm not, it would have been nice to win it at the end, but I thought they got lucky to be in that position. To be honest with you, I thought the Patriots were actually the better team on the field in that football game. And so I'm not going to be crying about spilt milk in that one.
There you go. I'll tell you, that's one thing that I learned from guys like you that have been in the business for a long time. When I first came to Vegas, I realized that you're right. Just because it's the last game of the season doesn't mean you have to put thousands of dollars on the game.
I don't even bother to sell the game. I just give it out as a free play every year. It's unless it's a real standout, which last year's actually was. I thought Seattle was a great bet against Denver, but this one wasn't. And you just have fun with it. Vegas did okay with the game. It was the worst outcome they could have had in terms of what they wanted. But they still probably about a 3 to 5% hold. So the house did well. And what was most impressive was the amount of money bet on the game, particularly when you factor in that there was no big money line grab in this game. If you got a bigger spread, 3 or above, you're going to have a ton of money line action, which really boosts the volume. But the total handle came up to about 115, so it was only about 4 or 5 million short of last year's record. And if that's not an indication to these bozos that make the laws that you need to legalize this stuff because there's so much money in it and so much taxable revenue in the process, they're crazy if it's not legal. And I think it will be within 5 to 10 years tops. My generation won't be in control anymore, and I don't consider myself to be a part of my generation as far as the thought process goes. No, in age I am. There's nothing I can do about the age. But I don't think like an old fart. And as my generation has diminished power, some of the archaic laws that are on the books are going to disappear. You're already seeing it with marijuana, which is going to be completely legal shortly, and you will see it with sports betting as well, because the younger generation is looking at this going, why is that illegal? And they'll change it.
Talking about my generation, baby, a little bit of Daltrey and Townsend there. Oh. Good stuff, man. I love the Who. Good stuff. All right, David, it is about that time. College basketball. Right here at the forefront. I knew you and I love the mid-major conferences, but we like the bigger conferences too when we see an angle, especially when we get into conference play this time of year.
Well, yeah, and we'll look at a game first as Georgetown takes on Villanova, and this is a statement game for Villanova. We'll see if they can come up with a big effort because they've got some serious revenge here from the first meeting. They got blown out against the Hoyas in the first game.
Yeah, this one will be in Philadelphia. This will be Dave Cokin's free play. It is Villanova, and again, we're doing these videos on Thursday, so the lines are not out. We're going by power rankings and got it guesstimated at Villanova -9 in Philadelphia, Saturday's game against Georgetown. This will be Dave's free play. Dave, go ahead. Let's make it official.
Well, the first meeting between Villanova and Georgetown, simply stated, it was the worst game Villanova's played all year. They got blown out from the opening gun in that game, could never get anything going, and the score was every bit as lopsided, or the game was every bit as lopsided as the final score, perhaps even more so. But I think you've got different circumstances here now. Villanova is obviously going to be fired up for this game. They want to avenge that loss, and they're in good form, coming off 2 very good performances in their last couple of games. Georgetown could have the hangover here off a very tough loss to Providence on a Wednesday night. And it was a game where they got a huge break from the officials late in the game and couldn't take advantage of it. This is a really close battle. And if you saw the game, you know Ed Cooley, the Providence coach, was just about ready to flip out. If he could have thrown something on the floor, he could have done a Bobby Knight in this situation, and I don't think I'd have gotten on his case. Just a terrible call that went against the Friars, ended up being a flagrant against Providence, which gave Georgetown an opportunity for what amounted to a 6-point possession. They did manage to get the lead in that sequence, but not enough to hold off the Friars. Providence comes up big at the end of the game. And here you've got a situation where I think John Thompson III, once again showing that he can get out-coached at the end of a basketball game. And you might see that again here by Jay Wright and Villanova. Now, hopefully, it won't come down to that, because if it does, then I'm not going to be covering as a favorite. But I think this is a good spot by Villanova with the revenge motive, coming in off a lot better mindset type of performance with 2 good games under their belt, whereas Georgetown's coming in off a bad loss. I like Nova minus the points here.
There you go. How good is Villanova in your guesstimation as far as to go, Elite Eight?
I think they certainly are a Sweet 16 team. Once you get to the Sweet 16, it's a crapshoot.
Right.
I mean, there's Kentucky excluded. There's not a great deal of difference between any of the rest of them. So, can Villanova make a run to the Final Four? Yeah. If I had to make out a Final Four right now, I wouldn't have them in it. I have just a feeling that once they get past 16, they'll run into somebody that can throw some wrinkles at them and they won't adjust real well. That can happen to Villanova at times. But against a familiar opponent like Georgetown, I don't see a problem this weekend.
Yeah, the thing is, Ryan Arcidiacono is a guy that can nail from three-point range. But this year, he's been horrendous shooting there from percentage-wise.
Yeah, thankfully, for Villanova, he hasn't gone nuts trying to knock down those shots, and he's done a good job distributing the ball. And they're a real solid basketball team.
Good players, yeah. Hilliard and Pinkston, definitely. They've got a great coach, like you said, in Jay Wright. All right, so David says go ahead in Philadelphia, take Villanova, lay the 9 again, probably right near, trust me, Cokin's power ranking numbers. We've used them before. They've been dead on, and we'll use them again on the next game. When we come back, I'll take a look at a big game in the ACC, Virginia, a team that has surprised a lot of folks, only the one blemish on the year. They're going to take on a Rick Pitino Louisville club. Should be another good game on Saturday. Ken Thomson, Dave Cokin, pregame.tv. We'll be right back.